Let's bring in Republican Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett, friend of show, and Professor Dakota Rudisill. And you can tell me if I mangled your name. I do it all the time. Professor, how do I say your name the right way?
You nailed it. Rudisill.
30 years studying nuclear weapons, work in Homeland Security, understands, okay? First of all, let's start on the political. And Professor, you listen to what I hear from Tim. If you got any questions, let me know. Representative, I have it right that there's a classified briefing, right? Why do you guys need one if there's nothing to see here?
There was a classified briefing last week. I didn't go to it, Chris, because and thank you for having me back on, brother.
Of course.
They bring you into the briefing, and then you can't talk about it. And if you do, you can be brought up on charges. And even if it's something you already know, which you and I think I know what's going on with some of this. I don't think they're sniffing out nuclear stuff. I don't blame that guy for saying that. Everybody's got a theory on it. My guys down at my Liars Club, coffee club every Saturday morning, they've got a theory on it too. But the reality is, I think it's a combination of everything. If I could go into that, is that all right?
You use the time as you want, sir. You serve the people.
Brother. Well, I think you've got a combination of things going on. You've got some copycats, but I do think the Chinese are using this. They have componentry in everything we've got. The camera that's filming me right now is Chinese. They have their componentry in our fighter pilots, and there was a report out a while back, and it's been talked about a lot that they're afraid they could have the capabilities of even turning off some of our jets if we were to get into a conflict with them. I don't know if they're behind 100% this, but they are monitoring this. You remember that Chinese spy balloon?
Weather balloon.
Yeah. That thing flew over the Aleutian Islands, came down, went across the country, transversed, turned directions, came back around, took in Oak Ridge National Laboratory in my backyard there in Tennessee, did everything. Then they shot it down off the coast of Myrtle Beach. Now, the Chinese are cold and calculated. They look at everything that we do. They monitor every movement. They're monitoring. And on that thing, they didn't really have to do much spying because, honestly, they've got people in our colleges and universities. They had a member of Congress had a relationship with a known spy. You had a known spy that was a driver for a U.S. senator for 10 years, for goodness sakes. So I think what they're monitoring is our response. And you are correct. We are going to end up moving on off this thing, and then something's going to happen major because of these drones, because we are not paying attention to it. And I firmly believe that the Chinese are monitoring this. They have componentry in these things. They know where they are. They know what's going on, and they are watching our political reaction, our military reaction, and just our press reaction to this thing. And for our White House to kind of poo-poo it, to me, sends the wrong message. I think you should take the American public serious. They're concerned about this. New Jersey I know a bunch of folks up there in New Jersey since I've been in Congress. They talk funny, but they're good folks. And that was one of the most compliant areas during COVID, if you remember. But these folks are not compliant about these drones. They are incredibly heightened about it, and they should be. So, and that's basically it. That's what I think it is. So they've got.
I don't want you to tell us what you hear. I don't want to tell you to tell us what we hear tomorrow because I don't want you to be thrown in jail. But hopefully,
I probably won't even go. I probably won't even be invited to this one. They usually tell me about 15 minutes before these things. They usually don't want people like myself in those meetings.
I hope if you get information, you're able to use it at least, to protect the people who voted for you. Now, Professor, first of all, let me just tell you, Dakota, he really does believe he doesn't have an accent. So what he said about the New Jersey, he actually believes it. Just so you know, I've worked. I'm just telling you, he believes it, but don't judge him by that on everything else he said. Everything else you can take seriously. Now, Dakota, people are looking and saying, they're obviously pretending that they don't see what we see. So maybe that's because they're so frightened by what is actually happening here, which is military aircraft, drones, manned or unmanned, looking for this nuclear material that went missing. And we saw the report that a Cat 3 material went missing from some truck or something in transport. And that's what they're looking for in Jersey. Nukes.